ready for this one this afternoon as they head in out of the heat. 97 degrees outside today, a little breeze out there, but indoors 74 air-conditioned degrees as Kumar Rocker works on his office space for this afternoon. Let's take a look at the lineup that Rocker intends to deal with today from these Detroit Tigers. The Tigers at 39-50, 7.5 back in the Central Division. Kevin McGonigal, the first-year shortstop and now all-star, leading it off. Dylan Dingler DHing there. It's Carpenter, Green, and Torkelson right after him. Colt Keith at third base, McKinstry at second. Rogers will do the catching today, and James Outman, the speedy center fielder, bats ninth. That's against Kumar Rocker.
Yeah, Kumar is coming off that great start last weekend in Toronto, going 6 innings, allowing no runs on 4 hits. He lost to the Tigers back on May 2nd, just going 2 innings and allowing 5 runs on 7 hits. But that slider is a big usage pitch for him, but make no mistake that two-seam fastball complements that slider very well as it runs in on the righties and away from the lefties.
The defense behind him today, a little bit of a tweak with Josh Smith in left field, the speedy Carter in center, Nimmo on right, Duran, Lopez, Colleen, Berger around the infield, Elias Diaz will do the catching, and the first pitch right in there for strike one. So off we go this afternoon on this Star-Spangled Sunday. Great to have you along with us. Kevin McGonigal, he is a newly minted all-star. And what a dazzling rookie campaign it has been for this young man.
Yeah, it's just great that he was selected to the All-Star team, but just to make it even more special is it's going to be in really his hometown of Philadelphia, where he grew up as a kid, just 15 minutes away.
Whoa. Rocker introduces himself.
Yeah, and that'll make you think twice about looking for that slider, whether it be out over the plate. Just get that attention right away. But Kevin McGonigal, I don't think he'll shy away. He'll get right back on top of that plate.
He is a bulldog of a player, this McGonigal. You're mentioning, though, grew up just down the road. And what a thrill for him to not only be making an all-star team, but to be doing it in his backyard. He told us today he'll be staying at home.
Yeah. And it just went to so many games there and watched his idol Chase Utley play a lot.
Check swing, and he did not go. 2-2 the count on McGonigal.
And you know he won't change either. He'll keep that same bulldog mentality. He won't slow down just a bit, like, okay, I don't have to work as hard. I made that all-star team. I can just kind of coast from here. He'll continue to go extremely hard.
Putting up a good fight here with Kumar Rocker. Now he's behind Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop on that team, and we'll see what Witt's situation will be once we get to the all-star break. But the other thing with McGonigal is he's not limited to playing shortstop. I mean, they could play him wherever they want.
No, that's the great point. I mean, and that's what his position is just, hey, I just want to play. You know, if it's shortstop, great. If it's third base, great. I just want to be in there and soak it all in.
Rocker's payoff, and that one is fouled away.
This is the way it's been going all season long for him. It's just battling right off the get-go. And when Gleyber Torres is healthy, he usually hits right behind or right in front. And so you've got 2 long at-bats usually to deal with.
This one flared out to center field. That's a base hit for McGonigal on the 8th pitch of the at-bat, to your point.
And there it is. It's just you've got to battle so hard to get the first out. And then if something like this happens, you know, where he muscles one out into center field, you've just thrown 8 pitches and you've got to go into the stretch right away.
And going into the stretch does introduce another aspect of the game for Rocker, especially with McGonigal 11 for 11 in stolen bases, at first offering to Dingler a little bit outside. But Rocker, as he's made the move to the big leagues, one of the first things that really jumped out was the the trouble holding runners and being quick to the plate. He's worked hard on that, though, and that's a good slide step. And that's in there for a strike.
Yeah, you can see right there just holding the ball a little bit longer, trying to get Kevin McGonigal flat-footed over at first base and then slide stepping. But that's what makes it so interesting with Dylan Dingler in the plate. Now you got to make sure you continue to throw quality pitches and not worry so much about McGonigal.
Another all-star, Dingler, and he takes downstairs. 27-year-old catcher. How about those power numbers? 19 home runs, 59 RBIs. Now today he's DHing. He catches most of the time. And he hits this one up the middle. That has a chance to be two. Lopez to the bag one. On to first in time. Double play. So Rocker gets a little defensive help. And that'll clear the bases in the first.
Boy, what a nice pitch. For and in on the hands of Dylan Dingler. Breaks that bat. You can see they just played that perfectly instead of charging in and trying to catch that on the fly. Just saying, hey, this is going to be a one-hopper. I can take it myself, fire over to first to complete the double play.
Well, nice play by Nicky Lopez, who's been a big lift to this Rangers team. Kerry Carpenter now the hitter with the bases empty. And Rocker runs that fastball in on him. 96 miles per hour.
Yeah, I was going to say that's looks like he's trying to maybe get a little bit extra on these lefties, and just like he didn't want to throw that under the chin of Kevin McGonigal or that far inside, but just trying to get a little bit extra on the to the lefties.
1-1 on Carpenter. So Rocker trying to get through a scoreless first inning, and the handful of stories when it comes to Kumar Rocker. The first inning, without question, one of them that is inside. 2-1. An ERA of 9 this year in the first inning. 14 earned runs and 14 first innings pitched. A little bit low. So fall behind on Carpenter with another all-star. Riley Green waiting on deck.
This is the situation that happened in yesterday's game with Kerry Carpenter having a real good at-bat against Cal Quantrill, singling before a Riley Green 2-run homer.
Well, count goes full now. And the Tigers, it's interesting at 39-50, and we'll spend some time talking about this today. 11 games under 500. AJ Hinch would tie in. I don't think he's off on this at all. They're a lot better team than that record tells you. 3-2, a swing and a miss. Well, Rocker picks up his first strikeout, and he puts up a goose egg in his half of the first inning. Casey Mize has the ball the other side. The Rangers coming back. Jock Peterson, Jake Berger, and Brandon Nimmo coming up. Well, it's the Rangers' turn now in their half of the first inning. The Rangers 45-44, and their starting lineup: Jock Peterson starting it off as DH, Berger and Nimmo right after him. Ezekiel Duran, pleasant surprise for the Rangers at third base. Carter and Diaz, and then at the bottom of the order it's Smith, Cam Colley, and Nicky Lopez.
Casey's coming off a great start, best of his career in his last start against the Yankees, and he's holding left-handed hitters to a 162 average. A lot of lineups now are starting to realize that. They're kind of saying, you know what, we might not go that many left-handed. We'll put in some right-handers in there.
Well, Peterson serves that out into left field. A base hit, so an opposite field single, and the Rangers have their first base runner.
Yeah, this is what Casey has been successful with, is throwing a slider on the back door to lefties. This one kind of sneaks over the middle a little bit. Jock Peterson does a nice job of inside outing it and shooting it into left field to get the Rangers off to a good start.
Jock Peterson has been a pretty big revelation for the Rangers in that leadoff spot this year, as Jake Berger swings through strike one. In a lot of ways, Rangers bit of a slow start offensively this year. Things began to change once they put Peterson in the leadoff spot, and it hasn't. It's not like it's affected his power. It's probably improved it. There's a strike to Berger. 0-2. And with all the injuries that the Rangers have had to deal with in their lineup, man, they have really leaned on Jock Peterson.
You're talking about Rocker and just, you know, the numbers that he's had in the first inning, and that's the thing when the starters are just starting to get into the game, not really got all their stuff going, and Jock Peterson puts a lot of pressure right away.
Well, Mize comes right back and gets a strikeout of Berger on 3 pitches.
That's the other thing that's made Casey Mize very successful, is that 4-seam fastball and that nice ride at the top of the strike zone to both right-handers and left-handers. But it comes out of his hand, it looks real nice, and then it just does not sink. It continues to hold the plane right up there, looks so comfortable, and you just can't get up to it, swing underneath it.
Well, veteran Brandon Nimmo fouls off a strike here. Nimmo at 259 for the year with 8 home runs. Rangers acquired him in a big offseason deal from the Mets after spending his first 10 years in the big leagues with New York. Rangers traded Marcus Semien to the Mets to get Nimmo, and he has been a very positive influence as well. Goes about his business like a pro. So did Semien. This is a good guy to add to any clubhouse.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're glad to see him back after a couple of days not in the starting lineup, just dealing with that right shoulder issue, wasn't it, when he
hit
the wall?
AC joint sprain when he crashed into the wall in right field in Toronto, catching the final out of the game. Kind of a dramatic play. 2-1. Man, that's outside, so Mize still kind of feeling around for it a bit here.
And that's the thing about Casey, is he's done a real good job at limiting the base on balls. That's what made him so good in that outing last Wednesday, or no, I think it was Tuesday against the Yankees. That he just no walks and 10 strikeouts.
Yeah, you were mentioning maybe the best start of his big league career, that last one against the Yankees.
It was back-to-back against the Yankees too, so that's never easy on a pitcher.
And that strike 3 called as he gets Nimmo looking, and we get a first look at the John Tumpain called 3rd strike. Nobody does it better.
And there's just another pitch right there on the bottom rail of the strike zone. A lot of hitters just take that. It comes out, they're thinking it's going to end up low, but again, with that little extra giddy up, that little extra ride, it catches the bottom rail. Or they're looking split finger, and it fools them, and it catches the bottom part of the strike zone.
Oh, now he rushes one right past Ezekiel Duran for strike 1. Duran today starting at 3rd base, and Skip Schumacher has been able to move him all over the ballpark. And he is an aggressive hitter. Goes after the second pitch he sees here, and a pop-up out into short right field. That's an easy play for McKinstry, and it ends the inning.
Now both pitchers have to deal with a leadoff single. Casey Mize comes back after that with a couple of well-placed fastballs, one at the top of the strike zone, one at the bottom. No score after 1.
Back to work in the 2nd inning as Kumar Rocker fires one on the outside corner to Riley Green. Great to have you along with us this Star-Spangled Sunday on Peacock. Presented by Ford as Rocker gets Green to swing and miss. It's 0-2.
Well, there's a good example of the slider from Rocker. You could see how fooled Riley was. Looked like a fastball and then just disappeared.
Well, he'll go to that pitch a lot, as he did right there. 1-2 on Riley Green. When that pitch is working for Rocker, he's pretty tough. 2-2.
I think that's one of the big keys for the Tigers, is trying to get the ball elevated, just not swinging at that slider that's out of the strike zone. Just trying to make sure that ball is about thigh high as it starts.
Up with a fastball there, and that runs the count full on Riley Green, selected to his third straight All-Star team. Announcements yesterday. Rockers 3-2, and that's fouled away. So Green has pretty rapidly made quite the name for himself in a Tigers uniform. Seventh pitch of this at bat, and that is in the air, left field, and drops in, base hit. So Green starts the second inning much like McGonigal started the first. A long at bat, a little bloop single.
Yeah, another one just in on the hands and just strong enough to muscle it out into center field. That's another thing that Riley's done very well this year. Is power numbers may be down slightly, but instead of trying to hit it 500 feet, he's done just that. Just saying, okay, I'll just take my base hit. If the situation presents itself, then I'll take my shot for a home run. But in that one, no, I'm just going to muscle it and get a base hit.
So Torkelson turns away from ball one. Torkelson playing first base today, batting fifth. Been kind of a funny series. Rangers took the opening game on Thursday, scoring a lot of runs. Tigers did not have a great night at the plate yesterday. In game two, the Tigers won 3-0, but it was not exactly an offensive display by either team.
No, it was the 3 runs were scored in the first couple of innings, and then just a whole bunch of zeros after that.
On July 4th, almost no fireworks. Toss over to first, and Green dives back.
Boy, what a crowd it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful crowd, just like you'd want to see on the 4th of July. It was nice. The great atmosphere and a well-played game by both sides.
Green with a small lead. And a swing and a miss. 1-2 on Torkelson. Well, it won't be quite as big a group this afternoon, but they are. It seems like the locals here are ready for something, right? They want some reason to cheer. I felt bad for him yesterday because you had such a big group on hand, and you're thinking, oh man, just entertain the house, right? Show them everything you got. And unfortunately, they didn't get a whole lot offensively. They did see a good defensive game, and I will say the Tigers in this series have made some incredible defensive plays.
Yeah, it was just after Thursday where the Rangers scored 10 runs, banged out 17 hits, 3 home runs. They were thinking, hey, we'll add on to that.
A swing and a miss, and Rocker strikes out Torkelson. Second strikeout for Rocker.
Yeah, I think so far you get used to the scouting reports. You're saying, yep, you got to look for that slider. Got to look for it. He's going to throw it a lot. And you see one of them, and you're waiting for this one to have that downward action to it, and it stays true and just kind of sweeps right to the side with that cutter. Well executed pitch from Rocker.
Work to another left-handed hitter here, and he pumps one in for strike one to Colt Keith. You'll see the numbers for Keith, who can be a handful when he gets going. Rangers have seen some pretty impressive offensive performances from Keith over the years. That's fouled away. 0-2.
Speaking of good defensive plays too, he made a real nice play in the 9th inning of yesterday's game to take a double away from, I think it was Josh Young. But yet Colt started off hitting for a real high average, and the power it took him a long time to hit his first home run. And then he had 3 in one game down in Houston, and then added on this road trip.
Well, he takes a close one there. 1-2 on Keith. Well, there have been a handful of very notable players in baseball this year who've taken their time getting the power bat going. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes to mind.
Yeah.
Fernando Tatis, another
one. My goodness, yeah.
It's been a funny year that way. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Keith. And Rocker's low. Another long at bat and a deep count for Kumar Rocker. His third 3-ball count already today. And a quick check-in with Riley Green.
Yeah, I think that is just one of those ones where you're just seeing if he flinches a little bit, just to get an idea if he might be going. Riley's got 2 stolen bases on the year.
Well, that's hit well out to center field, but not going to carry as Carter gets back there to make the catch. 2 away. So Rocker needs one more out. You know, sometimes those moves over to first base too, especially in the way today's game is played, for a guy just maybe get a breath, right?
It is. Yep, just that little stall tactic. You know, either that or just getting the ball, and I don't like the feel of this one, and kind of tossing it out just to give you that maybe 5 extra seconds.
So now McKinstry fouls off the first pitch he sees. Zach McKinstry started second base. Another lefty. A.J. Hinch, 6 left-handed hitters in his lineup against Rocker. And this will be Kumar's 20th pitch of the inning. It's high. I'll tell you, Dan, we do that from time to time, talk about the number of pitches in an inning for a guy. As you look at the splits for Rocker this year, lefties have a decided advantage over righties. You understand what Hinch was thinking. But we talk about that all the time. Oh, he's at 25 pitches for an inning. Whatever. In your career, how many times did anyone ever come up to say, like,
never?
Hey, Peaches, you threw 33 pitches that inning.
What do they say? The first time that happens, right, would be the last time or whatever.
Yeah. They just see you walking off. Sparky, you know, I threw 27 pitches that inning. I don't know. High fly ball. Shallow center. And another play for Carter. So the inning is done. Kumar Rocker, 2 scoreless under his belt. His second strikeout as he got Torkelson to offer for his first out in the second inning. He played an inning and a half, no score. All right, back here at Globe Life Field, you can score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. They've got everything, hats, hoodies. You scan the QR code or visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. Bottom of the second inning today at Globe Life Field. And Casey Mize looked really good in the first. Goes 1-1 to Evan Carter, speedy center fielder for the Rangers. And Mize finds the bottom of the zone, and Carter says, well, hang on, I don't know.
The previous pitch was called a strike. The batter's challenge.
So our first ABS challenge today, powered by T-Mobile, and it was a strike.
That call is confirmed. Texas has 1 challenge remaining.
So Carter burns one of the Rangers' 2 challenges. Now the count 1-2. Mize already a couple of strikeouts.
It's establishing that 4-seam fastball. See if he goes to that split finger. Try to get a little chase from Evan Carter.
Well, he fouls that one right into the mitt. Third strikeout.
Casey, again, that four-seam fastball has really done a nice job of setting up all of his pitches. And it's just one of those ones where, you know what, you're going to have to prove to me first that you can handle that, and then I'll start mixing in my slider and my split finger. But the success he's had with that four-seam fastball so far in the game, I think he's going to stick with it.
Diaz now, and he takes strike one. I feel like that's one of the things we've seen in the first couple games of the series. The Tigers sort of sticking to a similar game plan in general, which is keep throwing the fastball until the Rangers show they can hit it. And there's a fastball right at the top of the zone, and this time the challenge.
The ball. Catcher's challenge.
Challenged by Rogers. He says, no, that was a strike. So ABS will let us know.
Ball is overturned. Texas has 2 remaining.
So Rogers was right. 0-2 to Elias Diaz.
Tiger catchers have been very successful with their challenges this year. Headed by Dylan Dingler, one of the top catchers in success rate.
0-2. And that is up the middle, a diving catch by McGonigal. And the rookie all-star showing you why he's been named to the team. That's another brilliant defensive play.
Yeah, that's the thing that everybody was talking about, is he can't play shortstop. And this is what he's been doing all season long, is making plays like this, whether it be at shortstop, whether it be at third base. Such good actions, and it's all about that little hop that he takes right before he moves in either direction. That pre-pitch preparation that they take. It's a little hop, and then as soon as they come down, they time it perfectly. The ball's lined. They get a great job and make that play.
Well, just falls right in line with what we've seen in the series. Is really good defensive play by the Tigers.
That little hop, you see him up in the air, and as soon as his feet are landing, the ball is crossing the plate, and then he can spring to where the ball is hit.
Well, he played third in the opener on Sunday, shortstop yesterday and today. Playing the outfield if Hinch needs him there. 0-2. A little tapper by Josh Smith rolls foul.
There was talk about maybe taking Colt Keith out of the lineup yesterday and moving McGonigal over to third. And Colt Keith made that great play in the ninth inning yesterday. And of course, AJ went to Kevin McGonigal and said, thank goodness I didn't take Colt Keith out of the game, because you never would have made that play. Just to keep him honest on the first day that he makes his first all-star team.
That's brilliant.
Just to keep him in line, just to make sure, you know, not that Kevin would ever, like I said, get big-headed or anything, but just to keep him honest.
Yeah. Well, AJ knows what buttons to push. Smith waiting on an 0-2. Mize with that long look that time and deals a high with ball one. So Mize in that last start against the Yankees, he struck out 10 of the 22 Yankees he faced in that game. I mean, just absolute dominance. Today, 3 strikeouts so far. And he misses upstairs there, 2-2.
It's a nice at bat here from Josh Smith, spoiling some split fingers.
8th pitch is outside, and it's a full count. Yeah, Smith has battled his way back in this one. Josh will get him to double digits in terms of pitches in this at bat alone. Mize just keeps on trucking though, and it's 3-2. That one out to the alley in right center. That's down. Base hit for Smith. He's got a good jump out of the box. Rounds second. Will try for third. Here comes a throw. Not in time. Josh Smith with a 2-out triple. His first of the year.
Boy, that was a heck of an at-bat by Josh Smith. Just kept fouling pitch after pitch off and just finally got one from Casey Mize, just saying, you got to come to me sometime. That one kind of splits the strike zone, middle. Just like the way that Josh Smith turned second base. Didn't take that wide turn, kind of straight in line with third base that enabled him to get in there safely.
So a 10-pitch battle that ends up tilting in favor of Josh Smith. Now he's 90 feet away. Rangers' second base runner of the game. Cam Cauley, rookie second baseman. He'll take on the outside corner and not quite ready to challenge that yet. Just his 5th major league game. I'm sure he's a little gun shy at the moment.
And you wonder if maybe just because he didn't want to burn another challenge that said, no, not this early.
1-1 the count. Cauley, a couple of hits in his first 4 games in the big leagues, 2 for 12. His first big league hit was a triple, not unlike the one we just saw a moment ago from Josh Smith. And that pitch, that was pretty close.
It was. Yeah, you see Jake's very good at framing the ball. You see him pat himself on the chest. I think that was my fault. I didn't present the ball well enough to get a called strike.
Cauley takes low, and it's 3-1. Well, the Rangers called Cauley up on that last road trip in Cleveland. They had a 10-game road trip. They made 17 roster moves. The 10-game trip. They went 7-3. Skip Schumacher just kind of moving those chairs around the deck day after day, trying to find the right combo. That's high, ball 4, and Cauley takes the walk.
That's what I thought was so impressive, that all the big names that have gone on the IL for the Rangers, and yet, you know, everybody just says, hey, next man up. You know, we got to continue to just kind of play hard. And boy, that first game of the series, you could tell that they're just saying, you know what, we can't pout about it. We got to continue to go out and play hard. And they were very energized in that game on Thursday. Chris Better's just out right here, just to give him a blow after that long Josh Smith at bat, and then the base on balls just to kind of give him a little extra time. John Tumpane is going to go out there and just, hey, we got to get going here, but he's trying to take as much time as he could just to give Casey a little bit of breather.
When you saw some of those, the big injuries, the big names that the Rangers are without at the moment, guys like Corey Seager, Wyatt Langford, Jack Leiter, in kind of an intriguing way, has been maybe the biggest loss for them recently, just because it put such a big hole in their rotation. But now they have an opportunity to get that first run of the game. Nicky Lopez up there, and he takes a strike from Mize. Lopez, one of those guys, added a waiver wire pickup for the Rangers, and he has been huge. Little bouncer right side of the infield, and that's a relatively easy play for McKinstry. Rangers threatened in the second, but couldn't get a run in. Partly some great defense. The rookie McGonigal, great diving catch to his left to take one away from Elias Diaz early in the inning.
Overshadowed the work that he has done behind the plate to get up to speed with this pitching staff. Rangers catching coach Brett Hayes said the first week he was here, he made sure he caught every single guy out in the bullpen, which isn't necessarily uncommon when you come to a team mid-season, but Hayes said the number of bullpens he caught far exceeded expectations and just made a huge impact on the pitchers. Kumar Rocker said after his last outing, Diaz has been showing me different opportunities with a lot of my pitches. He's been great at helping me get ahead in the count. And Dan, you can probably speak to this. It's just so important for catchers to really instill that belief in their pitchers. And one of the best ways you can do that is by showing you care.
No, Lord, it's a great point. And you just, sometimes you think, oh yeah, you got to hit too. And you're spending all that time in game planning, learning what the pitchers like to do in certain situations, what they like to throw, and spending all that time in the bullpen catching the pitchers. But at the same time, you're expected to hit, and he has.
Well, he helped Rocker take care of Jake Rogers on that flyout. Now Outman, the speedy center fielder, hitting just 156 for the year though, and takes up and out. It's amazing how many players, I'm not picking on Outman, because there are probably, I don't know, a handful in today's game who have batting averages down in the 100s, mid 100s, and it's just not unheard of in today's game. 1 and 2 the count. Of course, we're much more interested in on-base percentages and the like. But man, the game is tough these days.
I mean, with the way the pitchers throw and all the defensive alignments, you happen to hit a ball good, it's right at somebody, or they're making plays like Kevin McGonigal did on Diaz.
Yeah. It seems they're always positioned, and they know where if you put your best swing on a ball, they know where it's going to be. And Outman clubs that high in the air out to right center, hanging up a while. Carter will make enough noise that Nimmo peels off, and Carter makes the catch, 2 away. We have time here to hear from Apple.
Want to stay up to date? Just tell Siri, show me today's MLB scores.
So a couple of fly ball outs for Kumar Rocker. And he's 1 time through the lineup now. We'll see McGonigal for a 2nd time today. And of course, this is where maybe we get an indication for how a day is going to go for a guy. You know, it's not unheard of that a starter will go through a lineup with no hiccups, but then 2nd time through, maybe not fooling guys quite the same way. That's pulled foul.
Kevin McGonigal took the first pitch in his first at-bat, a fastball, and is almost like, well, I'm going to set you up here a little bit and see if you come back with that first pitch fastball, hoping he got a cookie that he could turn on, but wasn't able to, and just a foul ball.
Rocker ahead 0-2 on McGonigal, who had 1 of the 2 hits for the Tigers so far today. Had that base hit to center in the first. And the 0-2, that's outside and low. Well, they made Rocker work last inning, 22 pitches in the 2nd. And McGonigal just kind of pokes that over 3rd, but foul.
I was looking at Rocker's delivery, kind of that traditional over the head with his glove, and then just paying attention. There's a lot of movement, but you pay attention to when the hands come down, the leg comes up, and he separates. Perfectly timed. You know, sometimes that can add something and your mechanics get out of whack, but you just look at this and watch when the glove goes down, the leg comes up, and he separates right there.
Ground ball right side, and a nice play by Colley. Throws out McGonigal, completes a 1-2-3 3rd inning for Rocker. He played 2.5. When we return, the Rangers top of the order will be due up. Jock Peterson, Jake Berger, and Brandon Nimmo head into the plate.
MLB Star Spangled Sunday. Every team, every game, one home. Action continues on NBC, Peacock, and NBC SN.
Sir, what a day. How cool is this?
Yes.
Every game around baseball on NBC or on Peacock or NBC SN today.
What a great idea.
The 4th of July weekend in baseball, to me, very, very tightly knit together. One strike pitch to Peterson, chopper up the middle, and McGonigal was there waiting for it as if he knew, and he throws out Peterson.
Yeah.
So, Peaches, in your career, did you ever pitch on July 4th? Did you ever have a start?
I don't think I ever, maybe a July 5th, but I don't think ever a July 4th. No, I was just thinking back to youth, though. You know, such a great idea this weekend, having all 15 games on Peacock. But, you know, all the Little League games.
Oh boy, that ball is hit well. Deep out to left, and that's gone. Jake Berger into the second deck. And the fireworks at long last this weekend in Arlington have started. There's a home run. And Berger gets the scoring going today. 1-0 Rangers.
Well, there it is. Just again, Casey Mize having good success against left-handers, but right-handers continue to torment him. And that's a slider up at that top rail. And just right-handers generally are those high ball hitters. You make a mistake up there, and Jake Berger made him pay. Boy, he hit that ball a mile. Almost 450 feet.
That was touched off by Berger. And Mize, I thought Mize kind of really dominated him in that first at bat, right? He struck him out on 3 pitches.
With the fastballs. And Casey will tell you, it like wasn't a hanger necessarily.
This one lined out to left field, but reeled in on a diving grab by Green. What a play. Man, these Tigers can go get it.
You know what? We've seen already 3 fine defensive plays. Cauley made one last inning. But this is something that goes underappreciated from Riley Green. He's constantly laying out, sacrificing his body, sometimes to the detriment. Gets injured, but what a play. That Superman, look at him, just that one.
Yeah. Out.
And I think that's why players appreciate the play from Riley Green.
Yeah, that's an all-star play.
You bet it is.
So 2 out, and Duran now. And that's chopped down to third. Wide of the bag, foul.
But yet, getting back to the Berger home run, is Casey will tell you that, you know, sometimes he'll throw that slider up like that, you know, on that top rail and get it to sweep across, but sometimes they hit it too. And that's exactly what Berger did. You know, they're not always supposed to be down and away. He'll throw them up just to kind of pair well off of his 4-seam fastball that's up at the top of the strike zone. He might have been trying to go down and away, but he does not show away from throwing the slider up.
Duran tried to stop, apparently did. 2-2. Oh,
and he did.
Mize tries it again, and Duran able to hold off one more time. Big blast by Jake Berger. And we've got some scoring today as Duran pops it up back behind the netting. So Zeke making Mize work again. We've had a couple of these today, both sides, where guys have put these long at bats on you. And that is strike 3 called. Duran goes down looking. Another strikeout for Casey Mize, his 4th, but he left one up in the zone, and Jake Berger sent it out 447 feet. High fives as the Rangers get the first run of the game. Well, we welcome you back in again as we head to the fourth inning. That's an interesting number for the Rangers. 34-10 when they score first. Second best record going in baseball. Quite the opposite when they allow the opponent to score first. They're the third worst in baseball. So getting that first run, a big one today for Jake Berger and the Rangers. And now Rocker goes to work on the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Detroit. Dingler, Carpenter, and Riley Green. And Dingler pops that one up in front of the mound. Everybody meeting there, but it will be Ezekiel Duran who makes the catch, one away. And that gives us just enough time here for Ford. Kerry Carpenter 0 for 1. He struck out on the first inning. But does have that power, the 13 home runs. Tigers team got off to a rough start this year. And they're in an interesting position, Dan. I just talking to AJ Hinch this morning. He's like, it's math. You know, the math says not good, you're 11 games under. He says, but the reality is this is a good team. And he feels like they could be as dangerous as anybody in a series, 3, 5, 7 game series. But his point is we have to cut down that 11 games to sell that story and make sure that ownership and everybody understands this is worth pursuing.
And that's what he says. We're a good team with a bad record. And you're exactly right. With that starting pitching staff, I don't think anybody's chomping at the bit if the Tigers could come back and make the playoffs to play them in a short 3-5 game series. You got a healthy Tarek Skubal now. Casey Mize has been really throwing well. Troy Melton, Jack Flaherty seems to be on a roll.
In the dirt, did he go? He did not. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Carpenter. Yeah, these have been easy, some of these check swings.
Yeah, that's a wonderful shot right there overhead, just showing that nope. Kerry's saying the same thing to Brendan Miller down there. Nope, I didn't go.
This one lined out over first. That's a base hit for Carpenter. Well, he's taking an aggressive turn, but will slam on the brakes. Carpenter with a 1-out single.
Yeah, it couldn't quite get Kerry to chase the slider, so comes back with the cutter. That one just stays up enough for Kerry to have that level swing and shoot it into right field. And the Tigers don't steal a lot of bases, but they do run the bases aggressively. And you can see Kerry Carpenter take that real aggressive turn around first base just in case there might be some sort of a bobble out there.
So Rocker runs that one. Well,
It's called the ball. The catcher's challenge.
We'll find out where he ran that one. Tom Payne thought it was in. Diaz said, no, I think it's a strike, an ABS challenge.
Pitch is a strike. Texas has 1 remaining.
Powered by T-Mobile, and the Rangers will get the benefit of that call. So, and they're, listen, every challenge now kind of a high-risk proposition because they only have 1 remaining.
And you got to make sure, but that one was clearly in the strike zone. That's why Diaz felt good about it. You wonder about that aggressive turn at first base too, just with Nimmo and the right shoulder. Maybe they're just saying, well, let's see, is he really healthy enough to make that real good strong throw into second base? So it might be worth watching something going first to third also.
Walker off the plate, 2-1. Yeah, for Nimmo, just his second game back after that sprain in his AC joint. Crashing into the wall in Toronto to cinch the 4-game sweep. Well, there's a swing, and that ball's driven high in the air, deep out to right. That is gone. Riley Green ties into one. A 2-run shot. And Detroit moves in front 2-1. man.
Boy, that's that fastball in the old happy zone right there. Talked about it the first time up, how Riley has taken his base hits, kind of shooting the ball up the middle with a level swing, but if he gets the right pitch, he's going to take the opportunity, and he got the right pitch, took the opportunity with that big uppercut swing of his, and puts the Tigers ahead.
Now a high strike to Torkelson. He did not challenge. Well, I've seen 2 home runs today, and both of them have been absolute monsters.
Blasted.
Wind is howling out today. This one is in there for a strike, 0-2.
And Riley, too, just making that great play defensively, and then again showing why he's an all-star with that 2-run homer.
Yeah, Green 2 for 2 today with that 2-run homer and a base hit earlier. That's up. 1-2 on Torkelson. How about that? The Tigers' power surge since the beginning of June has just been amazing and best in baseball as Torkelson strikes out 54 home runs since June 1st.
Yeah, they hit, I think it was 18 in May, and just had a miserable May, and a lot of it was Gleyber Torres was out. Kerry Carpenter, a big piece of that, was out, and then they got both of them back. Gleyber Torres now back on the IL, but Kerry Carpenter being back has certainly helped that number climb up.
What's funny about that list we just saw is, like, you could look at that list and see some team. Oh, the Rockies, Coors Field. You see Oakland, or rather the Athletics on there, and say, oh well, that ballpark in Sacramento, and of course that road, or that 2 series they played in Vegas, where ball was really jumping.
On the moon, yeah.
But the Tigers, I mean, that Comerica's still a pretty healthy sized yard, even with the adjustments made over the years there. I mean, those power numbers are legit.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike to Colt Keith, and that is strike 2. Keith flew out to center field in the 2nd inning. He'll take his timeout. This ballpark has played a little funny this year. I mean, really, in recent years, it's been basically a pitcher-friendly ballpark. First 2 months of the year this year, this was a graveyard. That's low, 2-2. Lately, it's livened up a little bit.
A little bit. You can see a couple balls that seem to have carried, but I can think of 2 yesterday. Spencer Torkelson hit one. Brandon Nimmo, I thought, got into one, and it held up in center field.
2-2 pitch, and that's fouled away. Yeah, yesterday it just felt like, I don't know, in that game, because we saw so little offense, like they had been storing the baseballs, in a half-filled bathtub. Like every time somebody take a big swing. Josh Smith hit a ball well early in the game, and it did not carry. Another check swing. Keith stays alive. Anyway, nobody could really advance the baseball yesterday, with the exception of maybe Riley Green, who hit the one in the 1st inning. Well, Rocker's payoff pitch here to Keith, and he loses him. Keith will take the 2-out walk. So Rocker at 75 pitches now.
Yeah, look at this pitch. Look at Diaz's reaction, and he starts to go like, and Tim Payne's asking him, "You want a challenge?" He started to go up. Thought better, said, "No, I better not. We've only got 1 left, and I think that one's low."
Man, that is a great job of overcoming one's instinct.
Yeah.
Right there, man. Hey, Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. If you'd like to learn more, including how to find a league near you. Scan the QR code or go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Well, Rocker, pitch count climbing on him a little bit. Rangers will pretty clearly have to use some guys out of that bullpen today. 7-pitch walk to Colt Keith. Here's McKinstry, and he takes a little low. Well, McKinstry's average is dipped below 200 now. Flew out to center field in the second inning. Rocker teasing him low there, 2-0.
And that average, even though it's went below 200, has been climbing over the last several weeks. It was just in the 160s, seems like about 2 weeks ago, and it has been on the steady rise.
Watches a strike from Rocker, 2-1. There you see the numbers against the Rangers, and there are certain guys in the Tigers uniform who you identify and say, like, I don't know, this guy just is trouble for the Rangers. That one, a rocket down to first, and another really good defensive reaction. That time it's Berger with a great stab to end the inning. But a big inning for the Tigers. Riley Green, he's made a fabulous defensive play and hits an absolute nuke to right field. A 2-run blast gives the Tigers the 2-1 lead. All right, the Tigers with a 2-1 lead as we welcome you back. Great to have you along with us today. Dave Raymond, Dan Petrie, and Peaches. We were hoping we'd see some fireworks today. The 2 home runs, awfully impressive here early.
Yeah, both of them just absolute bombs. Jake Berger's a little bit further than Riley Green's, but we've also seen a fair share of really well defensive plays. 2 by the Tigers, 2 by the Rangers. So far, just like you said, lots of fireworks.
That's what we want today. Star Spangled Sunday here on Peacock, presented by Ford. And a tight one as well, as we work now in the bottom of the 4th inning. Elias Diaz, we're talking about good defensive plays. He hit that line drive in the 2nd inning, and just tremendous reaction play by McGonigal. One of the defensive highlights today, a 21-year-old rookie. And that one is on the ground to give McGonigal another chance. Plenty of time here just to make the routine throw. So 2 gone. Quick start to this bottom of the 4th. Josh Smith coming up. Smith had the triple earlier. That was in the 2nd inning. Rangers home after that 10-game road trip, and they're home the rest of the way to the All-Star break. Tigers putting it into a road trip here today and then heading home, and also home all the way through up into the break, right?
Yeah, got 3 against the Athletics, 3 against the Phillies.
It's a good test right there. A little bouncer down to first, and a foot race won by Mize. 3-1 put out ends the inning. Rangers go quietly in the 4th inning. 5th inning coming up on this Sunday afternoon. The Tigers leading the Rangers 2-1.
One of the defining moments of Kumar Rocker's career came during that 2019 College World Series. In Game 2 of the finals against Michigan, he struck out 11 batters in 6 1/3 innings of 1-run ball to force a Game 3. Vanderbilt went on to capture the title, and Rocker took home MVP honors. But guys, there's a fun connection there. There were 2 members of Detroit's coaching staff, pitching coach Chris Fetter and hitting coach Michael Berdar, who were on Michigan's coaching staff that season. Fetter has said even back then, Rocker was a man among boys, and 7 years later, they're still trying to beat him, just from a different dugout and a different level. But guys, I still feel like Rocker Rocker has that really commanding presence on the mound.
He gets a swing and a miss right there, and strikes out Rogers to start the 5th inning. He does have a rather commanding presence out there.
He sure does, and a commanding slider also right here. Talked about it in the open, just all the check swings and uncomfortable looking swings that he gets with that pitch, especially when he gets ahead 0-2 and you got to protect a little bit.
And Rogers looked a little almost dazed after that one, as Outman now takes ball 1. 1 out, 5th inning, and Rocker, it hasn't been the smoothest ride to this point. And the one mistake, I suppose you could say, the home run to Riley Green, but he's more or less worked around a little traffic every inning. Robbie Ahlstrom begins to loosen in the Rangers bullpen. With all those lefties in the lineup today, you figure the Rangers will be getting a lefty ready. Little tapper down to first, and that's perfectly placed by Outman. Just nothing to be done there for Berger, and the Tigers have a man on.
These are one of those really tough plays. Kumar Rocker wants to go over and get that, and I can't get it. And Jake Berger comes over there, and he's got nobody to flip it to. But those are some of the toughest plays for a pitcher and a first baseman. Those in-betweeners, and Outman runs good. You got to be just exact with what you're going to do, and that was just perfectly almost rolled out there.
So that gets Skip Schumacher out of the dugout, and he's signaling. So he wants a lefty here. 4 1/3 innings for Rocker, and Skip Schumacher will use his pin the rest of the way. An off day tomorrow. Robbie Ahlstrom coming in. A 1-run game in Arlington, and left-hander Robbie Ahlstrom, the rookie, up out of the bullpen for the Rangers here. 3 of the 9 inherited runners this year have scored. So look at Ahlstrom's overall numbers for the year. Left on left matchup against McGonigal, and he's upstairs with ball 1.
Yeah, thinking Skip Schumacher just that 3rd time through the lineup, as you said, trying to get that left on left, and also with Outman over at first base. Ahlstrom can hold him a lot better than Rocker can.
And a 1-run game, just not a lot of room for error, especially we've seen what with yesterday's game and now so far today, runs may well come at a premium. Outman almost caught leaning. That was a good chance there by Ahlstrom.
That good snap throw. You know, you're figuring that they're going to lift that right leg up and have the traditional pick over there, and when you step off and make that quick flip, it catches you flat-footed.
There's a swing and a bouncer. That one's just past first, a base hit. Around second base, Outman, he'll make 3rd easily on the McGonigal single. And McGonigal 2 for 3 today.
Yeah, leaves that hole open over there at first base too, with Jake Berger having to hold Outman on. Gets that breaking ball over the middle of the plate. Berger tries to jump off of there, and just enough to sneak under his glove. The Tigers do this very aggressively. Go to 1st and 3rd.
So some pressure now in this inning for the Tigers. 1 out, runners on the corners. Dylan Dingler, the hitter. He's 0 for 2, hit into a double play earlier today. And he swings and misses at strike 1. And right now, Robbie Ahlstrom would very much sign up for one of those double plays. Try and get out of this inning.
Ahlstrom doing a good job against right-handers, just holding them to 167 average, just 3 for 18.
counts low, 1-1 to Dingler. The oddity for me, right, might be Dingler. You figure, big right-handed hitter with power and whatnot, he would dominate the lefties. Not the case. It's 225 against lefties. It's 283 against righties. And plenty of power against both, really. 1-1. And he hits out hard out to left center. That's a base hit. Outman scores. McGonigal got a great start, but they'll stop him at third base. Dingler's RBI single makes it 3-1 Detroit.
Just a changeup that stays up in the strike zone. Dylan Dingler stays back well and hammers that into center field. And Dylan Dingler, so that aggressive turn over at first base, knows that nobody's behind him. See McGonigal cruise into third, but look at Dylan Dingler about halfway to second, just throws on the brakes. Is there any kind of slight bobble, or that throw back in is a little bit offline? He's not leaving anything to chance and would take advantage of that and go into second.
Carpenter now, and he'll take a little bit in, and now a challenge.
Previous pitch was called the ball. The catch is challenge.
All right, Elias Diaz, that is a very close one. I guess that's sort of the nature of the ABS, right? And he does get the call.
Call's overturned. Texas has one remaining.
Oh yeah, clearly a strike. I mean,
it's just, yeah, like one thread, one seam.
It's really borders on the absurd.
Yeah, with the whole margin of error too.
Oh my goodness.
You know.
So that's a big overturned call. The one strike pitch now fouled away. Well, that's catcher's interference. Not only did Carpenter's swing get Elias Diaz, I think it got him on the throwing hand.
Yeah.
That, you don't see that very often. So the bases will be loaded.
Carey has a tendency to get catcher's interference. Just recently had one.
Oh, it was on the glove.
It's just that long swing of his.
So, catcher's interference scored an error on Diaz that loads him up, and Jordan Teagues heads out there. So, well, what a spot now in a 3-1 game. Ahlstrom is back up against the wall with Riley Green swinging the hot bat coming up. All right, so don't chat things over for a moment here. We'll squeeze it down into a tiny little box and allow Major League Baseball and T-Mobile to give you a message.
MLB and T-Mobile offer you a chance to win trips to all 30 stadiums. The views, the food, the vibe. Begin your journey to 30. Enter now.
All right, so Ahlstrom, a lot on his mind right now. McGonigal at third, Dingler at second, Carpenter at first base. And big Riley Green up there, left on left. Oh, that bounces and gets to the backstop. And that allows another run to score. A really challenging defensive inning here for the Rangers. A wild pitch brings in another run, and it's 4-1.
Yeah, slider from Ahlstrom. It just stays right down and goes right through the 5-hole. Diaz does his best to kind of get that glove down, just raised up just enough slightly. The ball stayed down, just right under his glove and through the wickets all the way back to the screen.
Infield will come in, and Green fouls that back. So everybody moves up with first base empty now. This was last inning for Riley Green.
Yeah, that four-seam fastball kind of in the happy zone. Nice uppercut swing. Gave the Tigers the 2-1 lead at that point.
He could do some really serious damage here. 1-2 the count.
And these are the at-bats that Riley again will say, all right, now I got 2 strikes. I'm not going to try to hit it 500 feet. I might get a pitch to do it, but that's not my mindset. I'm just going to try to go back up the middle, use the big part of the ballpark, and see if I can't knock in a couple.
In the dirt, and Diaz able to smother that one.
You know these breaking balls are going to come back towards you. Does a nice job of getting in front of that. See, that glove is kind of dangling on the ground there on that last one. Able to smother it and keep it right in front of him.
Ostrom off the plate again, full count. Dangler at third, Carpenter at second base. Here he comes. And a little tapper foul. Mentioned earlier that Riley Green named to his third straight All-Star team, and the first Tiger to do that since Al Kaline, who went to 13 straight back in the day, 1955 to 1967. And this is lifted out into left field. Smith going back to the corner, to the wall, and that's off the wall, and so is Smith. Dingler is in. Carpenter scores. Evan Carter comes over to pick up the baseball, and Green is into third base with a triple. 6-1 Tigers. And Riley Green having a day.
And that's again what Riley Green, just going the opposite way, using the big part of the field, staying behind that slider that's just a little bit up. What an effort by Josh Smith out there, just going after that ball, thinking that he's got a nice chance for it. Goes face first into that wall and just caroms away from him out into left field, and allows Riley Green to get into third.
Wow, so the infield has to stay in. Torkelson watches one very high. 4 runs across in the inning. Gavin Collier has picked up a baseball in the Rangers bullpen. Peyton Gray had been throwing a little bit earlier out there, and it looks like Gray may have put in the PitchCom device, so perhaps he's ready to go if and when needed. And Ostrom, he's just having trouble right now recording an out. 2 singles, the catcher's interference, and then Riley Green blasting that one into the corner. Diaz will take a moment, go out there and have a word with Ostrom. And Skip Schumacher might have to get a little creative here. Visit done. Hitters count here 2-0, and that's up. Ball 3.
Yeah, Spencer Torkelson likes this. Wouldn't surprise me if he lets it go.
Yep, have to be a little closer than that.
Yep.
Well, Torkelson will take the walk, and that is all that I think Schumacher can handle as he came off his perch for a moment. No, I don't know, what, rethinking it? Apparently. Thought he might have been headed out there, but he stays put.
You got a couple of left-handers, Colt Keith, Zach McKinstry up. How Lee's going to be announced for Colt Keith.
Yeah, so the
Yep.
He was just waiting for that announcement. Yeah. So now that Lee's announced, Schumacher is out, and he does make the signal. What's the right-hander? Men on the corners. 4 runs already across. And is this one in danger of getting away from the Rangers?
Yeah, How Lee pinch hitting for Colt Keith, and this was back on Thursday. Gets into one for a 2-run homer just out of the reach of Osuna out in left field. This is a young man that really has taken off in the last month or so, getting a lot more playing time at second base in the absence of Gleyber Torres, and has really taken advantage of it. Has seen his average really skyrocket.
Well, Gavin Collier is the new pitcher for the Rangers. They bring in the hard-throwing right-hander. His 20th appearance, and this is rookie season, and Lee takes very high, 1-1.
Thinking that trying to keep that runner over at third, Collier with that real good fastball has the ability to get some strikeouts.
Finds inside corner. You see Lee's numbers overall this year as a pinch hitter. It's even better. He's 3 for 10 as a pinch hitter with a home run and 2 RBIs. And he pops this one up. Right side of the infield. Berger makes a catch, and that is the second out of the inning.
Not the strikeout, but you certainly take that pop up just to keep that runner at third with less than 2 outs.
So Collier able to get that second out of the inning after 5 straight had reached. Pardon me, 6 straight had reached. 5 on Alstrom. And now the first pitch to McKinstry right in there for a strike.
And Collier, he appeared in that game on Thursday, and he really made a good impression. Nice scoreless 9th to finish off that Ranger win.
Pretty bad swing there by McKinstry.
Say that's a big, good-looking sweeper. That started off in the right-handed batter's box and just kept moving right onto that outside part of the plate.
Ahead 0-2. The runner leaves first. A bouncer goes foul. So Torkelson was on the move.
Gets that nice little jump vaulting lead over there and continues on to second base. Picked the right pitch. Thinking 0-2, maybe he was going to get a breaking ball.
Yeah, he was right. Would have had it stolen. And McKinstry not fouled it off. All right, the 0-2. And that is up and out. Fastball there, 99.
Yeah, that's what he was eye-opening on Thursday. First thing I saw was, boy, you look at that velocity and showing a real good sweeper here. Just channeling that control, making sure that he throws strikes, gets ahead.
And he rushes that one past a swinging McKinstry to end the inning. So he comes in and he gets both guys he needed, but maybe a little late today. Big day for Riley Green, the 2-run homer in the 4th. This inning, the 2-run triple down the left field line. He's 3 for 3 today. Well, the Tigers make some changes as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 6-1 Detroit. As McGonigal slides over to third base. Zach McKinstry will slide over into shortstop, and Hao Yu Lee, the new second baseman. Well, just everybody one spot to the left of the diamond, and Lee entering. Cam Cauley leading it off for the Rangers, down by 5 runs. So they have some work to do in these remaining innings. And Mize gets Cauley to bounce it to third base. You can't take much for granted with Cauley. He does move down the line, but 5-3 put out his first out here in the 5th. Well, Illumination's Minions and Monsters is the genius and totally true story about 2 minions who set out to make a movie and unwittingly unleash monsters into our world. See Minions and Monsters only in theaters now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice going out. That that Minions and Monsters. That can be a tongue twister.
Minions
You handled it great.
Hey, Minions really popular around my house in the last decade or so with the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Grown up a little bit, but they still,
Oh, yeah.
they still love those Minions.
You bet.
Nicky Lopez, 0 for 1. Mine looked like that wasn't a shake-off so much as it was almost like a shrug-off. Like kind of a full body, like, nah.
What did you call? What was that?
What? Can't believe you say that. 1-1. And he's upstairs to Lopez. So Myers really, he hasn't had a whole lot of trouble today.
No, and that first out was very important for him just after that long inning. But Casey does a good job of keeping himself loose in the dugout when he gets into those situations. Doesn't sit down much. Make sure he moves his body around. Keeps stretching his arm.
I mean, it was a little over 20 minutes, that half inning. Now, I don't know when you were playing what the threshold was. At what point would you, when you were on the bench, think to yourself, like, okay, it's, you know, it's been like 5-8 minutes here. I gotta start moving around a little bit.
I mean, you love the fact that your guys are out there scoring you a lot of runs.
There's a soft serve single into left for Lopez. Rangers have a base runner.
Boy, nice back control there by Nicky Lopez. Gets that split finger right on the outside part of the plate and just kind of wands it. Just goes right with it. Shoots it right into left field.
Some of the Rangers coaches have commented about Nicky Lopez. They're like, I wish I knew myself as well as he knows himself as a hitter. Like, he knows. Like, don't try to pull it in the air. Like, that's not your game. That's not going to work.
Yeah, and if he does right there, maybe it's a two-hopper
Right.
to second baseman, but he just kind of uses his hands, keeps that bat back, and just wands it into left.
John Peterson takes upstairs.
But that's all I remember Nicky Lopez doing to the Tigers as a member of the Kansas City Royals, and he had it on full display on Thursday. You know, the little swinging bunt up the first base line. He had another base hit, I think, into right field. I mean, just a really thorn in your side.
That's funny because you brought that up Thursday before the game.
Yes.
Before the series started. You said, oh boy, I see Nicky Lopez. Because he is just torment on the Tigers. 2-0 pitch, and Peterson takes a strike.
And I think you said the same thing. He's tormented every team that, yeah,
that's
the
what he
Rangers.
does.
Yep. Good slider from Casey right at the bottom rail.
It's funny, you almost notice those guys more than the big bashers sometimes, right? Like if you had a series where Mike Trout hit a couple of home runs against your ball club, you'd be like, well, yeah,
It's Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
Right.
Yeah. But then you come away from those other series where Nicky Lopez or David Eckstein or somebody, you know, had 5 hits and drove in a couple of big runs. It's in the dirt, ball 4, and Peterson takes his base, so the Rangers have a couple of men on. And those are the ones you notice. You're like, well, that guy's killing me.
And also, I've always been a big fan of that number 9 slot, that number 9 hitter. You know, everybody, that's the worst hitter on the team and everything. And it's like, no. I mean, that guy is the on-base machine as that lineup flips over. Now, he gets that base hit. Now, Casey's in a little bit of a jam after walking Peterson.
Berger lifts one down the right field line, and he's got to hope that gets foul. It does, and boy, Carpenter. Kind of a hard meeting there with that railing.
Gary, really good effort, but Gary did that in Kansas City and ended up on the IL. Went into the wall in almost the exact same spot and hit his shoulder right up against the wall. That one has a little bit more give than that wall down the right field line in Kansas City.
Berger pops it up. Infield fly rule in effect, but Torkelson makes the catch anyway, and there are 2 gone. Saw 2 outs. Brandon Nimmo, the batter. Hey, all the action kind of cut us off, Peaches, but when you were pitching and you'd have those long half innings, I don't know that innings went 20 minutes when you were pitching.
You know, and again, you love to have the guys going out there and scoring a lot of runs, but after a while you do get a little antsy. It's like, okay, you know, I got it from here, but I need to get back out there.
Yeah, I'll just take the 3, fellas. Thank you.
Appreciate it very much, but
well, it could be a real sneaky strategy. Try and get the opposing pitcher out just by having a long half inning.
yeah.
Now, just let them score a bunch of runs. Maybe we'll ice the pitcher.
Let's get into the bullpen. Yeah.
Rangers struggle today has been once they've got men on base. That's been a problem for them. They're 0 for 5 today with runners on. They've got Lopez at second and Jock Peterson at first. Nimmo flares that into center field. That's a base hit. Lopez comes around to score. So a 2-out run scoring single for Nimmo, and that makes it 6-2.
Good at bat by Brendan Nimmo here too. Stays behind this ball right in on his hands, and he just fists it out there. Zach McKinstry does everything he can to leap up and just off the top and webbing of his glove and trickles out into left field. Couple of good swings.
Now Duran in the air to left, but Riley Green is there. And he makes a catch, so the Rangers will have to settle for the 1 run. And they leave a couple more. We are through 5 this afternoon. And the Tigers with a 6-2 lead.
Take a look at this. The young Jake Berger and Matt Vierling, when they were high school teammates and best friends at Christian Brothers College in St. Louis. It was actually a yearbook photo, and according to the caption, they were also the 2 superstars of the baseball team. No surprise there. Now, both guys told me they actually used to ride to games together in Jake's old Honda Accord, which apparently had a surprisingly good sound system. They would blast Avicii and Flo Rida. The 2 have stayed very close. Matt went to Gigi's Playhouse event earlier this year when the team was in Detroit, which is part of Jake's foundation, and just the fact that they have stayed so close and their friendship has stood the test of time means a lot to both of them.
Yeah, kind of like when you and Walt Terrell used to carpool back in the day, right?
We did. How did you know that? Man, that's really good. I didn't go to high school with Walt.
Well, no, that's true.
But we did carpool together.
Yeah. And fouled off. You know, time spent in the car, like it's a different, I don't know what it is. There's like a truth serum or something in automobiles. People, man, you can get close to somebody in a car, spend a little time with them, you'll find out a lot. Oh, strike 3 called. We get going to the 6th inning. Collier with a big K, his second already.
There's that big sweeper. That thing starts right at the left hip of Jake Rogers and just keeps working its way right back across that strike zone. What a good pitch. Said David, he really opened eyes on Thursday with that high velocity. We've seen 99 in today's game. It was 98, and then that big sweeper. If he can command that sweeper, that's a big breaker to command, but if he can command that, boy, you could see that being effective to left-handers too, starting in that other batter's box and sweeping all the way around.
Well, that's a cutter right there, and that thing, I know you call it a cutter, but that's more like a slider the way I think of it.
Yeah, it's just maybe a little bit harder than his sweeper.
And there's that fastball again at 98. Yeah, he's got a live arm, and the Rangers, they've had, you know, a little trouble in recent years finding the big power arms, certainly developing them. It's made Collier a real intriguing story this year for them, and there's a strike right on the inside corner.
Yeah, that differential where he's up in the upper 90s with his fastball. The sweeper is about 15 miles an hour off of that, right in the mid 80s, and then the cutter right in between those two. It's easier to command that cutter just with that little less break to it.
It was 2-2 to Outman, and that's a little bit up. How hard did you throw back in the day?
You know what? They needed a hourglass to.
The leg timer?
Yeah. I don't know if those even exist anymore.
That's great. There's a swing and a miss. Outman strikes out. 3 straight strikeouts for Collier.
No, I don't know. I mean, you hear rumors of what people would say, but I don't know. But I know I didn't throw like that. That's nitro.
2 up, 2 down, and McGonigal now, who has had 2 hits today. And there's strike 1. But you've made the point, and that is if Collier can command his stuff, and there have been times in his developmental years where the command's been elusive, but if he can command it, be around the zone, yeah, that type of stuff is really, really difficult to hit.
I mean, you're looking at right now 3 out of 4 first pitch strikes and 70% strikes overall. Those are big numbers. You stay there with that electric arm, and you'll be just fine.
2-1 on McGonigal. The Tigers with 8 hits so far today. McGonigal with 2 of them. And he watches a fastball up. So good hitters count here too for the rookie. A couple of rookies going head to head. And Collier comes right after him with a fastball. Full count. Now the Rangers got a run in the bottom of the 5th to try and chip away at the big Tigers lead. And possible that Collier could give him a little boost of energy here if he could strike out McGonigal. Here's the 3-2, and that's fouled back.
Took a little bit off that at 95. Trying to get him out in front.
Yeah, easier said than done right there. I don't know how you do that.
That's what I mean. Just a get me over fastball at 95, right?
He's just placing it.
You know.
Well, let's see what he does here. Full count pitch, and McGonigal gets a piece of it. And that's got to be tough when you're going to your biggest power pitch like that, and the guy's just fouled off.
And that's McGonigal. He's walked more than he's struck out this year. Very impressive for a rookie.
They're trying to wear down Collier. 8th pitch of the at bat, and he'll see a 9th.
You love these battles too here. Come on, just make it out, but he's getting a little bit of everything. The 4-seam fastball, tried to get him with the cutter.
Well, that's a great battle. The payoff, and that misses badly, so McGonigal takes the 2-out walk. Tigers have a runner. Dylan Dingler coming to the plate, and the MLB app has you covered all season long. Get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. Dingler drove in a run last inning. 1 for 3. Just a rock solid catcher whose bat is too good to take days off, basically. So DHing today. And he pops it up near second base. Hanging up there a while. Lopez makes the catch, and the inning is over. So good job by Collier.
Yeah, good inning by Gavin Collier there. Walks McGonigal, but a couple of strikeouts on a couple of different pitchers. A nice sweeper that buckles Jake Rogers. Then a nice 3-2 fastball at the top of the strike zone to get Outman. Rangers go to bat, trying to get back into the game in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, first pitch of the inning from Casey Mize is taken just off the plate for a ball. Evan Carter, Elias Diaz, Josh Smith this inning. And it's 1-1. Dave Raymond, Dan Petrie, Laura Stickles. Great to have you along with us today here from Arlington, Texas, where the Tigers have used some power today and taking a 6-2 lead into the bottom of the 6th.
You know, there's a pitch. I don't recall him throwing that in this game, that slurve.
So now he's just making stuff up. There's a ground ball. Right side of the infield, another diving stop. And Lee makes the throw to first in time. They get Carter. One away. Now the Rangers will check on that, see if that's worth a challenge. But that was a pretty nice play there by Hao-Yu Lee. Just another for these Detroit Tigers today. Yeah, that could have challenged.
Yeah, it did look like he just nipped him there. But we talked about Hao-Yu Lee and him, the recent success at the plate. This is another part of his game that's really taken off. He's looked so comfortable out at second base and made a lot of plays. Just like that, showing off that good arm right in the back of the glove right before that foot hits the bag.
Diaz takes a strike. You ever amazed at how dadgum good these guys are, these umpires? It's just crazy.
You know, and I've apologized to so many umpires for being such a jerk in my playing days and how good they are now.
Ground ball to shortstop, and Diaz retired 2 away.
You don't appreciate them, you know, and then you watch and you go, you know, you guys are really good, and you were really good, you know. I mean, they were great. You just didn't appreciate them, and now I think they're tremendous. All the stuff they have to deal with, the challenges.
Right, it's just gotten
and
I feel like the job's gotten twice as hard.
Yeah, and they are good.
Man. Well, Smith takes a strike, and he'll immediately challenge.
Strike. The batter's challenged.
So just as we mention all that, Tom Payne botches that one. That's terrible.
Wow. One remaining for Texas.
Sorry, John. Just having a little fun with it.
Keeping us honest. That's all.
Yeah, that one. Now Tom Payne's scared off the corner himself because that looked like a pretty good pitch.
It did.
2 balls and no strikes.
Jake's got challenges left.
There's a strike. It's funny too, folks watching on TV. You got a little box there. And you're like, well, it's pretty obvious. You almost lose track of the fact that in real life, there's no box there for those guys to see. There's a fly ball left field, and Riley holding up the hand says, I got it. Don't worry about it. Well, the defense for the Tigers continues to excel. We're through 6 innings so far this afternoon. Detroit on top 6-2.
Well, in support of Casey Mize, the Tigers defense has really shown, and the all-star Kevin McGonigal says, you know what, I'm just not all hit. Riley Green says the same thing. He's got 3 hits in today's game. He decides to get in the action. That Hao-Yu Lee, just in the ball game as a pinch hitter, makes sure that, you know what, I didn't get a hit my last at-bat, but you know what, I can still pick it out here at second base.
It's been a fun series if you like defense, and who doesn't? Cole Winn comes on now in the 7th inning for the Rangers. He'll get the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. His 32nd relief appearance this season. So the Rangers already on their 3rd reliever today. An off day tomorrow. And Winn a little bit wide with that heater there at 95 miles per hour to Carpenter. Carpenter's been on a couple of times today. Last time reached on catcher's interference. There's 2 runs in the 4th, 4 runs in the 5th inning for Detroit. And that's down the left side, foul and out of play. We were mentioning it earlier about these Tigers. They came into this series after having swept the Yankees and pretty decisively. Really nice series in New York. Came to town here. Now the Rangers blew them out in the opener on Thursday, but yesterday bounced back a really tidy 3-0 win. Today the bats have rolled. Defense continues to sparkle, and they're up 6-2. And AJ Hinch has said we got to keep winning series. Wynn gets a strikeout of Carpenter. Got to win some series and chip away at that. Currently 11 games under. So we're going to get to like maybe 7 games under, 6 games under. If we can get there, then I think you can make a legitimate case for us pushing in the second half.
You know, you think how difficult it is to be a president of baseball operations or GM, just especially this year as you try to sneak back to 500. 500 might be good enough, right, to get in as a wild card. You know, and how do you, if you're just 5 games under 500 and with about 60 to go at the trade deadline, how do you sell off at that point? You know, you're one real hot streak away.
Catch a challenge.
On ABS challenge again, powered by T-Mobile. Elias Diaz felt like that was a strike, and
Texas has 1 remaining.
it is important to be in touch with your feelings. 1-1. He got that right.
But that's what the Rangers have done. You know, they got hot. They got hot and paid off for them.
You know, you think so many times, like, as a team kind of meanders around during the season, you'll even say, like, well, if they have one hot week, you know, just win 8 out of 10 or something. Well, picture changes completely, and the Rangers just did it. It just happened on the road, you know, notwithstanding it. And now suddenly, well, they feel like they can handle anything.
Yeah, and their situation too, the Rangers are home until the All-Star break, and then I believe they have the most games at home in the second half after the All-Star break. So lots of games right here in the friendly confines.
Well, the Rangers have already played 50 road games this year. So it is a very heavy home schedule coming in, and another reason for optimism for them. 1-2 pitch, and that is out to left field. Smith, plenty of time to make his way to it, and there are 2 gone. So Riley Green retired for the first time today, and we'll see, maybe he'll get another at bat. Green is still a double shy of the cycle. Here's Torkelson, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. And that's strike 1. Nope.
Just called a strike. The batter's challenge.
So this is a Torkelson ABS challenge. The computer says no.
Texas, I'm sorry, Detroit has 2 remaining.
So good challenge by Torkelson, and a swing and a miss. Hitters and catchers, they can challenge, and they're both okay at it. Pitchers, let's save those. There's a base hit into left field. Torkelson is on his first hit of the game.
And you got to take the emotion out of the game. I know there's not too many pitchers that challenge. Only seen a couple of them really this year. And I mean, how many times do we see when we're watching a game, the catchers are so good at framing nowadays that you see a pitch and that's a strike, and then you see it on replay and it's low, you know, or off the plate. They do such a good job of presenting the baseball to make it look really good.
Tricking their own pitchers.
You know, so you're out there and you're trying, you got everything behind it and your head shaking as you're delivering that pitch, and you're supposed to challenge it after those guys making those good framing jobs. Yeah, that's why it's probably just take that right out of the pitcher's hands.
1-0, and Hao-Yu Lee lifts that down the left field line. Duran out there in foul ground. He'll make the catch, and the inning is done. The Tigers go quietly in the 7th. Stretch time in Arlington. Tigers with a 6-2 lead. Folks here can stand up, stretch it out. Time for God Bless America, and we'll turn it over to Chuck Morgan.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and direct your attention down the third baseline and welcome back Billy Joe Jones. Billy Joe will now perform God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, wide with my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
And now, baseball fans, it's
for the ultimate competition. Don't miss an all-new America's Got Talent Tuesday on NBC and Peacock. Well, we have made it to the bottom of the 7th inning here this afternoon. 6-2, Tigers on top. Cam Colley leading it off for the Rangers, and Casey Mize is dealing today. He'll get a little defensive help from Matt Vierling, who's come in right field. Mize spikes that breaking ball there. Well, there you see it, Peaches. The last 2 starts, that Yankee start was great. He's been pretty good today.
He has, and Casey is a perfectionist, and he'll be shaking his head because he's got 2 walks, and he'll say, well, you know, I had 0 the last time. He is just unbelievably competitive.
Well, Colley sends that deep out to right, and that takes Vierling on quite the journey, but he makes the catch. 1 away.
And you just introduced him, and it just has its way of finding you right off the get-go. You know, you have to go out there, and I'm sure it's a little different trying to pick that ball up through the rafters up there. He doesn't take his eyes off it, though. Make sure that he doesn't lose sight of that baseball and able to adjust and make the first out of the inning.
So now Nicky Lopez, who had a base hit his last time up, scored a run, 1 for 2. Rangers just 5 hits today off Mize. 0-2 the count on Nicky Lopez.
Casey had those tough 2 stints on the IL with the adductor strain. Just missed the minimum amount of time, but really kind of and really never lost his any kind of stuff on his fastball, his breaking stuff at all. It was like he spent 2 weeks on the IL, and when he came off, he was just like as good as new. Just like didn't miss a beat.
1-2 pitch, and he bounces that one to the plate. 2-2. First overall pick in 2018, and they do activate the bullpen behind the right-hander. Still just 28 years old as this one's fouled back out of play.
Going to be a free agent after the season, and really has put together 2 real good seasons. Was an all-star last year. AJ had to give him the tough news that he wasn't selected. That could change certainly, but was not selected this time around.
Lopez in the air to left, and Green. Pretty busy afternoon out there. Makes a catch. 2 gone. All right, let's check in with Laura.
Well, guys, you were just talking about how AJ Hinch had to deliver that tough news. He actually called Casey Mize into his office yesterday just to talk to him and let him know that his contributions to this team haven't gone unnoticed because he has been so good, guys.
14 wins last year. Another great start today for Casey Mize. He leads with a 6-2 lead as the Tigers bullpen will have it the rest of the way.
Casey Mize's day is done after 6 2/3 innings, but just gave up the 2 runs today. Had the 4-seam fastball working, all 4 of his strikeouts coming on that 4-seam fastball. See that? Everybody waiting for him. Casey Mize back-to-back starts on this road. Whole bunch of zeros in New York and another strong outing here.
So they go to the bullpen. Drew Summers, the 25-year-old lefty, is on.
Yeah, Drew is one of those tough at-bats, but the last couple of outings, given up 6 runs in the last inning and 2/3. When he's got another challenge.
Rogers thought that one might have caught the bottom of the zone. Let's see. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. It did not.
Pitch is confirmed. Detroit has 1 remaining.
But Drew Summers is one of those uncomfortable at-bats, especially on left-handers. But he's had a little bit of difficulty. If he has his command, he can be really tough on both left-handers and right-handers.
Pumps that one right in there. Strike 2. 95 miles per hour from the lefty.
And you can see just that crossfire action. Jock Peterson kind of stepping out a little bit, just like, man, what is this? Where's this guy throwing this baseball?
And a swing and a miss. Ties up Peterson, and Summers comes in and gets the big out to complete the 7th inning. 8th inning coming up on this Star-Spangled Sunday. Tigers leading the Rangers 6-2.
Well, this Rangers bullpen has done everything they can to keep the Rangers in there, just waiting for the bats to come alive. Gavin Collier with 3 strikeouts, showing an electric right arm and a good sweeper. And then Cole Winn still in the game, but nice inning. Last inning, still out there just to keep them right here, but good split finger to get a strikeout. The 2 right-handers really showing well here in today's game.
Winn will get a chance to do a little more work as he fires one in for a strike on McKinstry. McKinstry 0 for 3 today. McKinstry, Rogers, Outman, bottom 3 hitters in the lineup. And a little tapper along the first baseline foul. Well, it's a 6-2 ball game, but for that guy, pretty important 8th inning here. The Rangers last year really leaned on Cole Winn. He had a huge year out of the bullpen. Really established that he could be a big-time contributor out of a pen. But he struggled this year. And there's strike 3 as he gets McKinstry. 1 gone.
Boy, just right on cue, showing the split finger from Cole Winn, and he just threw 3 nasty ones to Zach McKinstry to get that first out of the inning.
Yeah, and that's the pitch he's, on which he made so much hay last year. He needs to get that one back going again as his little cutter right there raced right past Rogers. Last year, a 151 ERA in 33 appearances out of the bullpen. He was a delight for the Rangers. You could argue last year that he was their best reliever. 1 and 2 on Rogers. This year the numbers have jumped up over 7 with the ERA.
But look at how you can see where he'd get both sides of the plate out with that split finger on the lefties and featuring that cutter slider to righties.
2 and 2. Well, last inning worked around the hit to Torkelson. pitch on the way to Rogers, and that one missed the spot by quite a little bit. Fastball comes in. Full count. Rogers 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. And that strike 3 call. Back-to-back Ks for Cole Winn.
Well, it looked like it just took Jake Rogers right by surprise. He's waiting for that to kind of break like a slider, and it just held true. And he, wait a minute, where's the break? Thing stayed straight and just got the inside part of the plate.
And that's good for Winn and the Rangers. But everybody a winner when you get a called third strike with Tom Payne behind the plate. A pop-up left side of the infield, and that'll be an easy play for Duran. A 1-2-3 8th inning. Just 10 pitches needed. Cole Winn back-to-back scoreless innings in relief for the Rangers, trying to keep them in it. 6-2.
Statcast 3D powered by Google Cloud, and it's Jake Berger who's leading off the bottom of the 8th for the Rangers, and his home run in the second deck here, 447 feet. That ball was absolutely crushed to give the Rangers the early lead. He just missed another one in his last at bat, trying to get the Rangers back in here, popping it up.
Well, and in this spot, the Rangers need him to just simply find his way on. Drew Anderson, the new pitcher, his 32nd appearance. Summers got the one out, and Anderson takes over. There's a chopper third base, and McGonigal with the long throw in time. Well, the ultimate goal of an MLB fan is seeing it all. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile is the ultimate bucket list. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Yes, all 30. MLB.com/journey to 30 sweeps. All right, one gone. And here comes Nimmo. And he'll take low and in for a ball. That home run by Berger earlier tonight that you showed, 447 feet. That's the longest home run by a Ranger this year.
Yeah, I don't imagine you see too many hit in the vicinity that that one ended up in.
2-0. Let's take a look again. It was fun.
Several rows back.
Ooh, fouled off of Nemo's foot.
Boy, it never fails that they have the shin protector, that shin guard, and it just misses it, doesn't it?
It does. Almost every time. It's crazy. See, that one got it, and it still hurts.
I bet, yeah.
Oh.
Boy, remember before they had that equipment, and you get the golf ball that, I mean, immediately, you know, when the ball goes there, that golf ball lump immediately after fouling those balls off the shin.
Fly ball out into right field, and Nimmo retired the second out of the inning. Yeah, but, you know, go away in a couple of weeks. No big.
I mean, they were ugly. I mean, it is. It looked like somebody shoved a golf ball right there, and they immediately want to, you know, put ice on it, and it's like, well, you can't really because you're going right back out to play. It's, man.
Well, 2 gone for Duran, and he'll go after the first pitch. High fly ball, center field. Outman is back near the wall. It's gone. And Duran has hit his 7th of the year. Well, that cuts the lead to 3. Gives the Rangers a little life late.
But look at that slider that just stays in the middle of the plate. And we've seen a lot of baseballs in this series head out into that direction and then just die, but not off of the bat of Ezekiel Duran. That ball kept going, kept climbing. That ball was another one that was just crushed. I think that takes a special hitter, a strong hitter, to get it out in that area of the ballpark.
Tell you, off the bat, felt like it was hit well, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know that, in my mind, I had that out.
No, because we've seen Torkelson, Nimmo, two that I can remember that I thought hit the ball really well, and you're thinking, oh, there's another one. It's going to die right at the wall, but it just kept going.
I think Altman, the route he took, almost said the same thing, right?
Yes.
It's like, let me get to my spot, and I'll make the play, and then, whoops. Almost just spun that thing something fierce.
Yeah, like, I got this. Okay. Wait a minute.
1-2, and Carter chops it right side. Good charge by Lee, and he makes the play to first. Retires Carter and ends the inning with the Rangers showing a little fight late. An 8th inning home run by Ezekiel Duran. First pitch he saw from Anderson. He got that ball to carry deep to center field to make it a 6-3 game. Duran's home run gives the Rangers a little hope here toward the end of the game. 9th inning, and Peyton Gray comes on for this 9th inning for the Rangers. 2 scoreless innings from Cole Winn. The 30-year-old rookie Peyton Gray. What a fun story he's been for Texas. 0-2 the count. Kind of an unlikely member of a major league bullpen. He got his opportunity, and with some injuries and good performance on his side, he's emerged to be one of their really high leverage guys. Fouled away. 0-2 here on McGonigal.
Yeah, he's in one of those nice stretches of 7 straight scoreless appearances. I know he came in the game on Thursday in a big situation. Tigers trying to get back in it. Everybody thought, oh, he's going to go to the changeup that he's known for, that nasty changeup, and he came in and threw 3 straight fastballs to get a strikeout.
You pitchers are diabolical. The things you'll do. In the air, left field, and Smith coming in makes a catch, 1 away. Always with the tricks.
I was going to say, speaking of the changeup, right there, a good one from Peyton Gray had Kevin McGonigal out in front. Just able to, not much behind that swing, and get that easy fly ball into left. That changeup down and away, out in front just a little bit.
Gray gets a swing and miss on the slider. That was your reputation when you were pitching. Yeah, I think you were quoted to this end, right? 50% arm, 50% brain, right? Half of it is the physical part, and half of it is, as a pitcher, being clever, being sneaky.
You know, I think there's,
I pop up here, heading foul and out of play.
there's a lot of that for anybody, where, you know, you have to be blessed with talent. There's no question about it. But then what separates it is kind of what's up in your head, what's in your heart, and what's in your belly.
Yeah.
You know, and that kind of separates everybody, because, you know, there's so many people that have those good arms and good stuff and everything, but it's just how do you channel it? How do you put it all together?
0-2 to Dingler, and that one lifted out into left center. Evan Carter takes control, 2 away. So Gray gets 2 quick outs, and Vierling comes to the plate.
And you're right about Peyton Gray too, just to have that fortitude to stick with it. There's so many examples nowadays, you know, of people going over to Korea, going over to Japan, you know, when they just It's not happening, not working for them over here, and then they come back, and their careers have taken off. Just staying with it. Just when you think, I'm going to give up, and somebody just keeps nudging you, whether it be a spouse, a girlfriend, parents, anybody, just stay with it. I believe in you.
1-1. Yeah, remarkable too, right? He's in the Rockies organization, gets hurt, ends up going to pitch in the American Association, an independent league for the Milwaukee Milkmen. And then catches on again with the Royals. Surgery. Again, Tommy John has to find his way back. Goes back to the Milkmen. He went to the Milkmen like 3 times. And you're thinking, when you're pitching for the Milwaukee Milkmen, make no mistake about it, you're at the end of the line. But he fought his way back, and at 30 years old, pitching in the big leagues. Fouled away, 1-2.
And then just to get that opportunity and take advantage of it. A lot of folks can get that so-called proverbial cup of coffee where they get a chance, but they don't stick. It's now you got that chance. Now take advantage of it and stay up here for a while.
1-2 pitch, and that one is lined over short. A base hit for Vierling, and that one finds a gap and rolls to the wall. Vierling will gear it up a little bit, head for third, and he is in there with a triple. Now with 2 outs, you're not necessarily thinking 3 bases, but when he saw that one in front of him roll into the wall, he realized, I got a chance.
Yeah, you think about how big this ballpark is too, and that's a line drive into the gap, just out of the reach of Nicky Lopez, and it goes all the way to the wall. That little stumble at first base, thought about holding up at second, says, nah, I'm going all the way to third. We're up by a couple. I'm going to take advantage of it. But man, I mean, it's just not far out of the reach of Nicky Lopez, and goes all the way to the wall for a triple.
I would have no idea just off the top of my head, but 3 triples in today's game. I'm not sure I've called many a game where we've had 3 triples in it. And now an intentional walk, as Riley Green is not going to get a chance at that double, and the cycle. Rangers will put him on. So Green to first, Vierling at third base.
Boy, and it just seemed like this was always the automatic moves, not to let Riley Green, but you see so many times where the intentional base balls just doesn't pay off. Whatever reason, that on-deck hitter just, says, well, I'll show you why not, why you shouldn't have walked him.
Well, in this case, it's Torkelson with 2 outs. Listen, he's 1 for 3 today. Had the walk in the 5th inning. The base hit his last time up. Great, just trying to get through this 9th, give his team one last shot in a 3-run game. That's inside. He's put himself in a difficult spot now, 2-0. Here it is. 3 balls and no strikes. Wow, if he loses Torkelson to load the bases, Hao Yu Lee waiting on deck, so he's already had a base hit. 3-0, and that's a strike. No challenge from Torkelson.
And Peyton Gray is thinking right along, hey, they're up by a couple, 3-0. If I throw him a cookie, Spencer was going to be swinging, and that's why I think he put that little wrinkle in it and threw a slider.
All right, 3-1, and that's on the ground. Shortstop Lopez will go the short way, and they take care of business, retiring Green to end the inning. Last chance for the Rangers coming up this Sunday afternoon in a 6-3 game. Well, there's a good little indication of what happened here today. That big 4-run 5th inning for the Tigers has them in front right now. 6-3 the score. Bottom of the 9th inning. Rangers one last shot, and they'll have to do it against one of the best who's ever closed him out. Kenley Jansen, 9 for 13 so far this year in saves. And he comes after Elias Diaz. And by that, I mean he came right in on him.
Literally.
Jeez. Not to get that close. Diaz, so far today, hitless in 3 tries. And he'll lift that one down the first baseline. And easy play for Torkelson in foul ground. 1 away.
It's been hard to get Kenley Jansen into the game. He pitched a week ago. Sunday had a kind of a rough go of it, and then just came in Thursday just for a third of an inning. So just a third of an inning in the last week. And asking him to come in here and save the game with just the 3-run lead.
No, Josh Smith, the hitter, and he takes a strike.
Kenley's been very tough on left-handed hitters. They're just 4 for 34, 118 batting average with that cutter of his.
And he gets in on Smith. That's popped foul out of play. 0-2. Smith has never had a hit off Kenley Jansen. 0 for 2 against him. That's up. Now 38 years old. And Jansen still doing it.
Yeah. What a career.
Good Smith to pop this one up. Foul territory. And again, Torkelson gets to it. Avoids that on deck circle. 2 gone.
That's all the on deck, the weights and everything else over there. Isn't that what happened to Jack Leiter?
Yeah, the Rangers.
Backing up, yeah.
Without Jack Leiter, he's on the injured list, had surgery, that injured ankle.
Kind of went over and had some difficulty with the stuff on the on deck circle. Yeah.
You wonder, right? I mean, it's the various rules Major League Baseball has, like the fact that they're just like, yeah, leave the sledgehammer right out there in front of the dugout. Well, why not?
Right.
What?
Yeah, that's okay. Keep the rosin bag in back of the mound, but leave the sledgehammer out.
Alejandro Osuna pinch hitting and lifts that into right field, and just like that, this one is over. The Rangers come up empty in the 9th. Kenley Jansen does it again, his 10th save of the season, and the Tigers take 2 out of 3 in this series, win another series, Dan, as they continue to chip away.
Yeah, just impressive victories in the last 2. Boy, the Rangers sure look good on that game on Thursday, and the Tigers were able to kind of reverse course, get a well-pitched game yesterday and another one today against Casey Mize.
So the Tigers head home winners. Rangers will enjoy a day off tomorrow. 6-3 the final score. We'll take a break, come back and wrap it up for you here in just a moment. Well, that's how you cram 3 hours of baseball into a few seconds on that little re-tease. 6-3 the final today. The Tigers taking the game and the series